severe reputational harm caused by the mayor's ongoing refusal to issue a statement denouncing these crimes or publicly clearing her name regarding the fraudulent billing records. If the media and the public perceive that Bayport's leadership and residents allow an elected official to remain in office without public accountability, it creates the impression that our city tolerates a compromise of basic ethical standards. We must critically assess the long-term damage to Bayport's credibility and image if she continues in her role or seeks re-election in the fall. Our town deserves leadership that is fully present, transparent, and aligned with the values of the community it represents. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next. Come on up. State your name and address or association with the city.
My name is Kim McRunnell. I am a charter member of the Afton Bayport Lakeland Lions Club. We've been around 11 years, of which Michelle is also a charter member. I also worked for Community Thread, which has an office in Bayport for 9 years. And my current position and my current job at the Connect Center will be moving to Bayport in the next month or two. So I do consider myself a Bayport resident. I just want to say, if I had one word to describe Michelle, it would be responsibility. She never does or commits to anything that she knows she cannot follow through on. She is the first one to volunteer with almost anything that we do. She volunteers more than I can even imagine or count. I have been very supportive of her because I believe in Michelle. I believe there's been transparency throughout this whole process, and Michelle has not been charged or convicted of any crime. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kim. You're gonna make me cry. Mr. Dickey.
Hello again, members of the council, Madam Mayor. My name is Robert Dickey. I live in Afton. I go to church across the street at St. Croix United Church and negotiated the contract with the school district for the purchase of the land that's going to result in this incredibly lovely school that we're so pleased as a congregation will be here. I worked very closely with Mayor Michelle to go through that whole process, and I respect her judgment. And she was very instrumental in helping get this thing across the finish line. It was a big, hard thing, and she was very good at doing that. When all this happened with her husband, Ben, I gave Michelle a telephone call and said, as you know, I'm a lawyer. I said, Michelle, there's some interest in this that could impact you, and that I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have as your counsel, but I did not charge her anything, and I'm not going to do that. It didn't take tons of time. She's an easy client. But having said that, I attended the sentencing of Mr. Hansen, and I want to kind of restate some of the things that happened there that I think are really important for everyone to understand. The victim, her family, had actually asked the court not to sentence Mr. Hansen to any jail time. The pre-sentence investigator that was working for the judge and for St. Croix County said the exact same thing, that Mr. Hansen shouldn't go to jail, that he wasn't a danger to the community, and that there was obviously no concern that there would be anything going on in the future. Having said that, what I just heard here today almost reminds me of, in a sad way, our national politics, where you can say anything you want and use innuendo to slander someone. And that's what I just think happened today. I haven't obviously read the letters but there's been no criminal complaint. There's been no issue raised by the court in St. Croix County about anything that Mayor Michelle did. But what she did do was that she followed her oath to her husband when they were married, that in good times and bad, she would still be there. And this was a bad time for sure. But she honored that. And I give her credit for that. And I have no doubt that she'll continue to honor the oath that she gave when she was sworn in as your mayor. You have a person who dedicates more time and effort to make Bayport a thriving, wonderful place. I hope people in this community come to understand that. I think they do understand that. And you've got something that everybody can participate in coming November, and that's an election. And elections are the appropriate place to say, for the city of Bayport, the members of the community, to say, we'd like Mayor Michelle to continue to be our mayor. If they don't, they don't. That's how it works. But having a single person stand up here and say these horrible things about Michelle is really, really a problem to me, because it could be any of us next that someone decides to say stuff that has nothing to support it. And so I just ask you to really dig deep. You understand who she is. You've worked with her for many years, some of you. She's a good person, and she deserves our support.
Thanks, Bob.
I did that on purpose to try to get you to cry.
Anybody else like to speak?
My name is Jeff. Live up in Inspiration neighborhood.
Last name, Jeff?
So my two
Do you have
daughters.
any last name for the record or not? Sarah? Yeah,
Selman.
thank you.
My two daughters both went to Anderson Elementary. My youngest actually wrote a little something that she wanted me to read. She knows Mayor Hansen personally, and I think this really does speak to her, good, kind nature and her willingness to volunteer and give her time. So I remember when I was in 3rd grade and loved to read, Miss Hansen had the chance to work with me and a few others to enjoy the classic novel Stuart Little. Despite her busy work schedule, she always made time to come and see us as often as she could. She was so uplifting and encouraging of our reading skills, and it was such a joy to be able to work with. I remember always looking forward to spending time reading together in our quiet little book club. She always had the brightest smile and an even brighter mind. Every time I would run into her, she would always make me beam with happiness. I felt so special being able to be close with the mayor of Bayport, being the amazing person she is. Even now, whenever I see her, she doesn't hesitate to greet me with a warm smile. I will never forget the special bond that we have developed over the years, and I hope that she, too, can look back to the first day I met her and smile. I cherished every second I could spend with her, and I hope I can spend even more in the future. She is such an important figure of Bayport, and I couldn't imagine it being the same without her beaming personality and skill. I hope she knows how important she is to us and holds her head up high. Most of all, I hope she knows how special she made this little girl feel just by being in her presence.
That was very sweet. Tell her thank you.
I think
Tell her I
on
miss
top of
seeing
that,
her.
punishing someone for someone else's actions, I think that just goes against everything. And I think we should talk about the individual here in front of us. And it seems like her ethics, her morals, her work, everything else is above board. So I don't really see why fishing expeditions are necessary, but I'll leave that up to you guys. So thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, anyone else want to make me cry? Either direction I might cry, you never know. Enough said. Last call. Okay.
I'll move to close the public hearing. Move to close the open forum.
I don't know that we even need a motion, do we?
Nope.
But thank you. Okay. All right. Thanks, everyone. Okay. Luckily, we don't have a lot on the agenda, so if you want to stick around, I will be making a statement. So now you get to listen to me read the consent agenda, which sounds a lot of fun.
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
I do have one thing for the consent agenda. Item number 13. The agreement that's included in the packet has
Oh, yeah.
a number or
Has the wrong amount for the fee.
the wrong amount for the service agreement. Yes, it should be 35,000.
Okay, so we'll just make that note. Okay, so we are going to consider a resolution adopting items 1 through 17 of the consent agenda. That includes the June 1st City Council workshop and regular meeting minutes, the June payables and receipts, June building, plumbing, mechanical, and zoning permits report, temporary liquor license from the Afton Bayport Lakeland Lions for Derby Days on September 19th. A temporary liquor license from the Knights of Columbus for the Anderson Corporation Picnic on August 8th. Renewal of the service contract with Youth Service Bureau for 2027. Awarding a quote for the ash tree removal, awarding a quote for ash tree replacement. Cannabis hemp retailer registration for My Dealer LLC located across the street at 243 3rd Street North, and replacement of HVAC system at the Nature Center building. Renewal of building inspection service agreement with Minspect/Safe Built, and agreement for the legislative services with Lockridge, Grindle, and Nowen for $35,000 versus the $40,000 that was accidentally included in the packet. Grant application to the Metropolitan Council for the 2050 Comprehensive Plan update. Renewal of contract for criminal prosecution services with Eckberg Lammers for the police department. Update to the domestic abuse response and arrest policy for the police department. And amendment to the Bayport Fire Relief Association annual benefit level, and approval of the Office of State Auditor schedule form. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to adopt a resolution approving the consent agenda.
I second. Oh,
All
sorry.
right.
Do it.
All right, thanks Ethan, and thanks Katie. We need a roll call.
Councilmember Bliss.
Aye.
Councilmember Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilmember Kipp.
Aye.
Councilmember Hill.
Aye.
Mayor Hansen.
Aye. All right, there are no public hearings or unfinished business. We don't have any new business, so we will go right to city council liaison reports. And let's, I was gonna say start with Orrin, but
We didn't.
I did.
Oh,
I
you
went to it, yeah.
Last week's was canceled.
Yeah, so Katie, do you wanna?
Yeah, so I had BCal, this was over a month ago now almost. I have my next one coming up this week, so, the ice cream social went okay. It was not as many people there, yeah, so we're thinking about maybe moving it up, cause it was still the same time. And school got done earlier, so we're thinking about moving it up the week that school, right after school gets done. And then they're working on Derby Days. They agreed on the tents to use. Matt did a great job on the map for the garage sales.
Yes, he did.
That was like the best map they ever had, they say. So thank you,
You
Matt.
did too good, they're gonna want you to keep doing
Yep,
it, man.
I've already signed you up. No, I'm just kidding, I didn't. Farmers market's still going on. I know it's not going on today because of the heat, but it's on Mondays. And that's all I have, I guess.
Great.
Oh, and they want city council members to still be the scoopers for ice cream social
In the future?
in the future. Yep. So it's our
Despite
job.
our
Yep.
performance.
It is now. Yeah. It is now our job.
Did a great job, Carl. What are you doing? It was the three of us were there.
Yeah.
And your daughter?
And my-
was
yep.
there helping,
Yep,
and
my
your
eldest.
son. Yeah, it was awesome. All right. Carl.
Yeah, the Lake Elmo Airport Advisory Commission didn't meet since our last meeting, so no report there.
Nice.
I do want to make a really quick response to some requests that were just made to the council too.
Oh, do you want to do that now?
Is
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Is that okay? I don't know how.
Was that the time you had in
Is
mind,
that okay,
Matt?
or do you want to do it during the
Why don't you just hold off until
announcements
council items and
time?
announcements?
Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay. Keep going with liaison reports.
The end.
The end for Carl. Did the cable commission meet?
They were supposed to meet tonight, but we rescheduled tomorrow, so I'll have more.
Oh,
information
good.
at the
So
next
you
meeting.
can make it then.
Yep. Yeah,
Because they are, we have heard about the
Yes.
struggles
Yes.
financially, so.
So hopefully we'll
Everyone
have
needs
more
cable.
information at the next meeting.
All right. All right, thank you. So let's see, July, Carl, Katie, and I scooped ice cream on the 3rd. Again, not as many people as we had expected, but it was very fun. On the 4th of June, I went to the grand opening of the Comcast Xfinity location in Stillwater, and they had lots of higher ups there. It was kind of a big deal, bigger than most chamber events. Went to Regional Council of Mayors meeting on the 8th, and the state demographer came. And it was interesting to learn that our state is actually, we used to increase our population at a very, it was like tens of thousands every year, and now we're at about like 10,000 a year. So not that we're declining, but our increase is slowing. And that has a lot to do with immigration being thwarted. And then we also had someone come in and talk about data centers, because I think everyone has a very negative opinion of data centers. So it was interesting to get the pros and cons of what a data center can do in your community. So I learned a lot about that. The 8th was also the Fire Relief Association night. We just approved the benefit increase in our consent agenda. So the financials are doing great there, and they are still, I mean, there's other things that we talk about, but one other thing, I know if you remember, you get like the calendar every year from the fire department. They're thinking of doing away with the calendar and trying to replace it with something else as a fundraiser, because it's way too expensive to print the calendar, and people use this for their calendar now. They don't even need a paper one. So anyways, they're brainstorming, and Cam's doing a great job with all that. I did attend the watershed meeting for Orrin on the 11th because he couldn't make it. We approved the 2027 draft budget, and they discussed this potential tool that's like a overhead visual that can try to assess the impervious surface from like aerial imaging. And it was like a really cheap thing that we could buy into, but I think they were going to look into it a little bit more. So you might hear more about that at the next meeting. There weren't any Bayport projects that we reviewed, but there were projects, so nothing really interesting to point out there. On the 15th, I went and listened to Angie Hong speak about exploring the St. Croix River Valley, the state of the water presentation at the Stillwater Library, and she had some good news, which is nice, that they are taking some of our waterways off of the, what are they called? Like an endangered species list for water. What is it called? I don't remember. But so she had some good news, and she's a great presenter, and she's very knowledgeable. There is quite a bit of algae down at our launch, though. I don't know if anyone's been down there lately, but lots of algae. So it's not great to see. The 16th was the library board meeting. They still have a vacancy. If anyone in this great crowd here is interested. Ooh, I think I see someone that was interested. She just needs to fill out an application. And then we reviewed the proposed budget and some changes that she had made. We're going to be talking about the budget again after this meeting, right? And some other things with the library. They hired a local consultant that's going to update their existing strategic plan instead of redoing the whole thing, just kind of reviewing it. And she was very reasonably priced. And she lives in Bayport, so it's kind of a nice benefit. The 17th was Fire Advisory Board, and we heard from the Lake, Elmo, and Stillwater fire chiefs about their staffing models, so we could kind of learn how that might look for us going forward, because these paid on-call part-time fire departments are really hard to keep running. So just learning a little bit more about how to transition and what it looks like to have more full-time. King Plant stakeholders meeting was on the 23rd. It took me a while to find it, but usually it's online, and it wasn't. It was at the county, and that was a lot of presentation. It was a lot of discussion, but the main thing was presentation about how other plant conversions have gone, and mostly from converting from a plant to open space. So I don't know if that means that's the way they're looking to what they're planning to do there or not, but that's what that presentation was about. And then Middle St. Croix Valley to Phelan Keller Regional Trail open house was in Lake Elmo on the 24th. They were looking for community input and suggestions and maybe any concerns people had. they basically have two kind of practical options there. So I don't know if you guys remember, we went and talked about how they're going to try to put a trail kind of along Stagecoach. We wanted to go through our city. So from this future trail that they don't really have a plan for yet, they're going to try to have a trail going west. And so one of the options is basically from kind of where Bay Haven is, right? You know, that T, kind of going that way west, or possibly going down to like 10th and then going west from there. So since it kind of affected Bayport, I wanted to go kind of see what people were saying. It was a beautiful evening in the summer, and there was like 2 people there. So unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of feedback when I got there, but I did get some questions answered from her about kind of what it looked like. They don't have any timeline for that. I mean, that obviously would even come after we get ours, I think. So our north-south route. And let's see, on the 30th, I wanted to go to Excel's Beyond the Smart Thermostat presentation online, but I couldn't attend it. But luckily, they sent the slides and some links about ways that we can all save on energy costs and receive free services and rebates and things like that. So I forwarded it to Sarah because I'm thinking she might want to use some of that in our newsletter so we can share that with everybody. And then on the 9th, I gave a tour of our nature center in Inspiration, which we had been leasing to St. Croix Prep, and they recently had to do some budget cuts, so they are not leasing that building anymore. So I'm hoping we can get something else in there on a more permanent basis. Otherwise, we're going to probably open it back up to just weekend rentals. You know, people want to have a meeting there, that kind of thing, which we should do in the interim before even if we do get a more long-term leasee. But I think they leased it through the end of this month, right? So we couldn't start till August with that. And then today, because this meeting was so much later, I had 2 regional council members meetings. I had one already and so another one already today. And that was with the superintendents of the school districts. So I rode out there with Superintendent Dr. Mike Funk from Stillwater, and we got to have a nice conversation about what's going on with the schools. And he's very excited about Bayport Elementary opening, and that there will be a ribbon cutting scheduled and open house for us to get tours and things. The conversation with the superintendents was a little disheartening because it's just, they are in a tough position. Again, kind of like Michael said, if you have extra money, give it to someone that the school district could really, they're getting cuts, and it was really, they did a really good job of explaining how bad it is. Like they're making the same amount for trying to run a school that they did like 20 years ago from the state. The state has cut the funding so bad, and it is really difficult for them. So, and they can't just increase their levy. You know, they have to go out and ask everyone for that. So it's a tough thing that they're going through. But there was some good positive stories too about programs that they have to help kids that maybe don't want to go to college and things like that. So really always informational, but they do that every year. And soon I'll be inviting the chief. We usually have a police chief one too, and he can never make it, but maybe next time. But so that was my liaison report for July. All right, now we're on to staff and city administrator reports. So Matt.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Fire Chief Kenny.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City staff. So, as you can see, we ran 101 calls month of June. Everything's pretty normal in that aspect. I was able to find the answer to your question about the weird number on your response average times on the bottom. So what that was my fault. I had different apparatus clicked where I just needed to remove that. So what that does is taking those number of apparatus to make the average response time. So I was able to fix some of that.
Okay, good. We're learning how this stuff works, right?
Yeah.
The reporting.
So currently we have applications open for paid on call firefighter. So far we have 4 applicants that have applied. It closes later tonight. And then I want to thank Craig Mueller for donating an FAA tower to Bayport Fire Department. So as you know, I went out and purchased one for myself. That way we were able to talk with Lake Elmo if we ever have an issue like that. Craig being part of the Lake Elmo Fire Airport Advisory Board, he was nice enough to donate us another one. So both the duty vehicles now have an airport radio on them. And another thing, I guess I'm part of the county fire rescue dive team, so I'll be doing some of that.
Who signed you up for that? Yourself?
I guess I volunteered myself since I'm a big user of it. I didn't want to do so.
Well, thank
And
you.
for any questions.
Do I still get a calendar even if you're not going to? I use my calendar.
I can give you a 2026 calendar.
We'll
We'll scratch
there
out
you
the
go,
days.
scratch it up. Yeah. Make one of the guys do that for you.
I feel like we do get some paper calendars from, like, is it SEH or someone drops some things off here. If you ever want
So
one,
I
I think
I'll take
ask
it.
Mary. She'll probably be able to find you a calendar.
I'll work on that for you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Gabe.
Thank you.
I appreciate the much more detailed reporting, and they're pretty, with all the graphs, and
I
thank
know
you.
some people don't like them.
Oh, really?
I like graphs.
Why are you out?
Police Chief Jackson.
Madam Mayor, council members, as you can see on the report and from my very red head, we had safety camp today. We managed pretty well, had some help with Public Works hanging up some misters that over the shelters that really helped out today. And then we also bought some cooling cloths for the kids that we put in a cooler with ice and let them come back and pour some fresh water on them. So we did our best. Nobody passed out, so I consider that a win.
Yeah.
We'll be back at it again tomorrow. We have reptile, canine demonstration, a bunch of stuff going on for the kids. We had some smaller groups this year, so it definitely kept things a little more manageable. As far as past events that we've done, we had Officer Lepowski and Sergeant Slinger at the ice cream social. Officer Lepowski escorted the girls lacrosse and golf teams for state. And then we have Night to Unite coming up August 4th. And we have been maintaining our peddler solicitor, continue to update that on Facebook. So if anybody knocks on your door and you want to check the list to see if they're approved, if not on the list, give us a call. We'll take care of it. I will stand for questions.
Is that list on the website too?
It's just on our Facebook page.
Okay. So call your friend if you don't have Facebook. Some friend of yours must.
Somebody's got to have it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Public Works Director Hanson.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Public Works crews have been busy over the past month with routine maintenance, but I'd like to touch on a few of the highlights. One of our biggest highlights this month was the completion of the Barker's Alps sign. Public Works staff completed the entire project in-house, including installing a concrete footing, the retaining wall, and the stone itself. By completing this work in-house, we were able to deliver a high-quality finished product and saving the city money from not having to hire an outside contractor. Construction at Bayhaven is moving along quite well. Sanitary sewer mains, water mains have all been installed. Certain sections of the water main have been tested and are now in working conditions. They're just about done installing the curbs in the project and should be putting down some asphalt shortly. And then lastly, the one big project that's going on in town is the Fifth Avenue sidewalk project. Miller Contracting will be starting this week with tree removals and then moving on to utility work within the project limits. Including moving 3 fire hydrants and replacement of 1 water valve on Fifth Avenue that we found that was bad and leaking. Then they will be moving on with construction of the sidewalk. Currently, completion is still set for beginning of the school year. This concludes my report. Stand for any questions.
Thanks. The Barker's Alps sign looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
All right. Last report, Sarah and I just have a kind of joint report. Couple things. Working on the 2027 budget with department heads, capital improvement planning. It'll be a lot of work this year to make sure we try and trim as much as we can to remain responsible, right? Also met with Mark Drummerhausen, previous previous principal at Anderson Elementary. We discussed the playground on the north side of the elementary school, on the ability to keep that and restoration of some of the other areas. I think might have a joint, not a joint, but a workshop out there come August, just to take a look at it physically. So if anybody wants to run out there here in the next month, they are required to turn that area back into kind of whatever the city council wants. Now, it doesn't have to be, it's not going to be extravagant or anything. So essentially turn it back to grass where there's asphalt or wood chips. So be prepared to have a quick meeting out there next month.
Did you clarify, I'm sorry, did you say that the playground equipment is staying? I didn't know if you said that out loud.
Yes, so the playground equipment can absolutely stay. It can also be removed. Staff recommendation would be that it remain. So.
Yeah. And Mark Drummerhausen is the director of operations now. He used to be the gym teacher and the principal at Anderson Elementary, but now he has a much bigger job. He's the operations guy, so that's why we're talking to him. All right, thanks, Matt. So that's it for staff reports, right? So now we're on to council items and announcements, which is where I'm gonna my statement. Before I do that, I did want to just clarify something that Amanda said earlier about the emails and materials that were shared with the city council that we received, and there were 5 different people sent things. And I just wanted to be clear that it was a mix of both support for and concerns about public confidence in the current council. All 5 weren't negative comments. So I just wanted to make sure, because I think people would think that if they were emailed that they would all be negative, and they weren't all negative. So I just wanted to clarify that. And then I guess I can read my statement since I have a Kleenex. Okay. So I need to start by just apologizing. I'm sorry that you guys haven't heard from me until now. I should have listened to my instincts months ago instead of following the advice of legal counsel to stay silent. Bob's pointing at himself. You deserve to hear directly from me that I was not involved in my husband Ben's criminal case. In August of last year, I learned the details of what he did 25 years ago, and I was horrified. As you can probably imagine, all this has been devastating for me and my family, and I can't even imagine what Alice Peterson's family has gone through. Yet they had the compassion to try to dissuade the judge from sentencing Ben to any incarceration. At the very least, I hope they can feel some comfort from his sincere apology and the understanding that there wasn't any ill will or malice intended. It can be hard to piece together the truth from the social media speculation, but it is clear from the investigations that I was not involved in my husband's case or any scheme to defraud the funeral home or Alice Peterson's family. I believe it is wrong to judge others indefinitely for their distant past or demean them for their mental illness. I will continue to love and support my husband as I always have. I will also continue to work passionately and diligently to represent the best interests of Bayport. My husband's actions all those years ago have no bearing on my leadership of this city. I have truly loved serving on this council for nearly 16 years. God, it's been a long time. And I will be forever grateful for the privilege of being your mayor. Right. Carl, you wanted to say something?
I just wanted to thanks for sharing. I wanted to just respond to specific requests made of the council. One is there was a request for an internal financial audit. The council, and I believe the mayor as well, don't have any direct access to city payables, receivables. We do go through an annual audit it's made publicly available. And in a dizzying amount of detail, every receivable and payable is posted on the city website every month. and is very, very open to public inspection. I share concerns about reputation of city government. I shared concerns about Michelle's involvement, and I've talked with Michelle directly, and would encourage anybody else to do so. Emails and phone calls are remarkably rare in these positions. It surprised me how few emails and phone calls I get from residents of Bayport. I would, and speaking up here as well, thank you to everybody who came and spoke. That's valuable input that helps the city. But we're a small enough city that we can take direct questions, and I think that goes for the mayor as well.
Of course. Thank you. Anyone else want to say anything?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. I've been on the council for 6, going on 7 years. Michelle has always been a big supporter of me, even when I started and I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but she's helped me through all that. Just listening to her monthly statement, I mean, she's doing something every 3 or 4 days for this community. I mean, it's insane to think that she doesn't care about this town. I mean, something that happened 25 years ago, and it wasn't even her, it's her private life. I get we're public servants and we have to be held accountable, but not for something she didn't do. I think that's just completely out of line that people would think that something that her husband did 25 years ago would influence her in any way about how she helps lead this city. Her constant, Lions Club, BCAL, reading to the kids over here. I mean, I can't even imagine how much time she spends volunteering for this community, and she has my full support. And yeah, that's all I have.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
Yeah, just thanks for everyone for reaching out too. Normally, this is my 4th year now, and barely ever do we get people coming in. And when we do, it's most of the time something that we don't even know what's going on. So I would say, you have something going on, come in here and talk to us or send us an email. That's what we have our email for. And then we can at least investigate it and know. Because most, I would say, more than 75% of the time, we don't even know that it's an issue coming up.
Thanks. Okay, you're the only one that hasn't said anything. You want to skip it?
So I'll jump in. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I have to full-heartedly support what Ethan said. Is every month when we have these meetings and Mayor Hansen goes through the checklist of what she's doing, it is mind-boggling that someone has that much time to devote to their city. So I also echo what Katie says. If you have something that's on your mind, bring it to our attention, because many times we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So use the emails, use the phone calls. It helps us bring the community to get together as more fluid, togetherness. But as far as the mayor goes, I think she's always had nothing but this city's best interest in mind. So thank you.
Thanks, Warren. Yeah, and I know I did reach out to Marina, who made the statement earlier, and I asked her to meet. If she had questions, I was willing to answer them, and she did not respond. So I am always available to my residents. So if they reach out, I am, and I would love to. Someone else I saw on Facebook saying something about, does the mayor still do coffee things or something? I did that. I got to do that once at Community Thread. If they would have me back, I would continue to do that as well. I love it when you guys engage and ask questions and care about what's going on, because we all need to care. I mean, this is our city, so. Right. Thank you all for coming, and the friendly faces out there have been really helpful, so I appreciate that. And have a great night. Stay cool, and we'll see you less than a month, because it'll go fast now that we had this one so late. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Thanks, Carl.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.